Good morning, boys and girls. And today's read aloud is another nonfiction book, not like yesterday, a little bit more informative. It is titled, How is a Pencil Made? How is a pencil made? What does that have to do with trees, right? Because we're learning about trees. Well, this story is written by Angela Royston, and she is going to explain to us how is a pencil made. Shall we begin? Well, the first thing is that a nonfiction book has lots of real pictures. It also has a table of content. That's why it's nonfiction. It also has titles. It has maps. It has bold letters that sometimes mean something. And if you want to know what it means, you come to the glossary and find out what it means. You also have an index of how many times that word is repeated in the book. And so now let's begin with this amazing book called How is a Pencil Made by Angela Royston. Shall we? What is in a pencil is the first question. What is in a pencil? We used pencils for writing and drawing. The pencil has lead in it. The eraser on the end rubs out any mistakes. So you have the pencil, you have the lead, right? And you have the eraser at the end of the pencil. The world map shows where the materials for making a pencil come from. So they can come from North America, they can come from China, they can come from Thailand, South Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia. Okay, there's lots of those places, and Mexico. So those are the places where the pencils may come from. So let's read what it says on the bottom. A pencil is made of different materials. The main part is usually wood. Wait a minute. Isn't wood what we call the tree, that log, the middle of the tree? Yes. The materials used to make pencils come from many different parts of the world. That's what we learned. Now, look at the next question. Who makes pencils? Who makes pencils? Several different companies have factories that make pencils. Many people work for each company. So this is what a pencil factory looks like. Okay? All those machines are going to make your pencil. Okay? Several people work in offices. Some of the workers decide how many pencils to make. Other workers buy the materials to make the pencils. So, in the company where you call the factory is where you make it, but it's not where you have all the materials. So you need the materials like the lead, the wood, the eraser to make it all together into what? Pencils. So here goes the next one, the next subtitle. Where the wood comes from. Where the wood comes from? That sounds like our topic, right? And it says, wood from incense cedar trees is the best wood for making pencils. Wood from incense cedar trees. So one particular kind of tree, the cedar tree, is the best wood for making pencils. The trees are cut down and left for several months. This is called seasoning. These trees are specially grown to be made into pencils. This kind of tree. The thin slats of wood are soaked in wax and stain. The slats are dried and then sent to the pencil factory. So these are the slats. You see the slats? There's lots of them, right? Wow, that's a lot of them. Next subtitle, the pencil lead. Now we're going to talk about what's inside the pencil. You see these two? That's what it's going to talk about. The part of the pencil that marks the paper is called the lead, but it is not actually lead. Instead, it is a mixture of clay, graphite, and water. The mixture is called black lead. So you have clay, you have graphite, and then you mix it with water, and then that's what makes the black lead. Some of the water is squeezed out of the mixture. The blackhead mixture is pushed through machines. The machines shape the lead into a long, thin stick. The stick is cut into strips. Wow. Then dried and baked in an oven. Oh, so they bake these leads. It's like baking cookies. But this one you don't eat. Hard or soft? That's the next subtitle. Some pencils have a hard lead. Others have a soft lead. There is more graphite in softer leads. Artists like to draw with the softest lead, and that's why you see the stains on his hands, because the stains on his hands means that the graphite is much softer so that he can do all that design. Stonemasons use the hardest leads to write on stone. Most people write with HB pencils. These are hard and black. That's what HB means, hard and black. There is more clay in harder leads. And that's the one that we use. We use HB. Color pencils. How many of you have color pencils? These are the ones that I love to use too. Colored pencils are good for drawing and coloring. The lead in colored pencils are made of clay, wax, and colored chemicals. I didn't know that. The materials in colored lead are mixed together. Then they are squeezed out through a machine into a long, thin stick. The stick is not baked, but left to dry in a special room. So these are not baked. These are left to dry in a special room. And they don't have graphite. They have what is called wax and some chemical. So if you don't know what wax is, it's that candle. If you have a candle at home, that's made out of wax. Adding the lead, the pencil lead. So now they're going to add the pencil lead on here to make a pencil. Each slat is as long as a single pencil. Each slat is as wide as 9 pencils. A machine cuts 9 narrow grooves side by side along the slat. So there's 9, and in each slat there's 9, and then that's where you put the leads, 9 leads. The grooves are covered with glue. Then a pencil lead is placed into each groove. The lead is the same length as the finished pencil. So look how they make it. You see, the grooves have the glue, and now they're putting the lead into the pencil, into those slats. A pencil sandwich. Who would have ever occurred to make something delicious A pencil sandwich? Never heard of that. Grooves are cut into a second slat. Then the slat is placed over the first slat. The two slats are glued together to make a pencil sandwich. So one slat and the other slat brings together the real pencil by making a pencil sandwich. A machine cuts the pencil sandwiches into separate pencils. Some pencils are round, but most have 6 flat sides. So that's what you see on this picture. Now they're coming out cut. They're not together in the slat, but now you have 9 pencils all together. Interesting, right? Finishing the outside. Well, we have to get to the other part. The outside of the pencil is painted. Many pencils are painted yellow. The company's name is stamped onto the paint. The letters H and B are stamped on to show how hard and black the pencil is. In some countries, the pencil is sharpened into a point, which is nice. I like when they sharpen the points for me. It's easier if I need it quickly. Now the eraser. Many pencils have an eraser on the end. The eraser is usually made of synthetic rubber or of plastic. Some erasers are made of real rubber, and that's why they're showing this tree, the rubber tree. This makes the eraser. Rubber bands are made with this kind of juice or milk, what they call it, from the rubber tree, the white juice. To attach the eraser to the pencil, metal bands are put onto the end of the pencil. A conveyor belts carry the pencils and the metal bands to the next stage. So, here's how they put them together, the pencil and the eraser, and then voila, you have a pencil with an eraser. Attaching the eraser to the pencil. A machine heats long strips of erasers. When the strips are cool, the machine cuts them into many small pieces. The machine tightens the metal band around the eraser and the end of each pencil. Wow. See how they're coming out? I see those pencils really cool. Selling the pencils. The pencils are put into boxes. A truck takes them to a warehouse. They are stored in the warehouse until a store orders some pencils. The store sells the pencils. Some of the money you can pay goes to the pencil company. The pencil company uses some of the money to make more pencils. So that's how it gets to you. It goes to a warehouse, the store orders the pencils, and then the store will sell the pencils. And that is it. The end. So, not only paper is made out of tree, but also pencils are made out of tree. And that is really important because you didn't know where the pencil came from. And the eraser, that comes from the gum tree, the rubber tree. That's awesome. So, you learned something new. What else comes from a tree besides paper and pencil? Shall we? Because smart is not something you are. Smart is something you get.